Today, nearly 5 billion people use the internet. We work on it, we shop on it, we watch movies on it, we argue with strangers on it, we build businesses on it, we fall in love on it. Entire economies now run through cables, satellites, and wireless signals floating through the air. But for the most human history, well, the internet didn't exist. And even when it did, almost nobody could actually use it. There used to be no websites, no Google, no YouTube, no online stores, no podcasts, no streaming, no social media. The internet existed, but it was basically a digital highway system with no roads, no signs, and no destinations. Then, in August of 1991, a quiet physicist working in Switzerland released something that would change everything. Not with a launch event, not with a press conference, not with a keynote presentation. A simple message posted to the internet. The World Wide Web was now open to the public. And in that quiet little moment, the modern world began. So today we ask the question, was the birth of the World Wide Web one of the greatest moments ever? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Best Moment Ever, where we take all sorts of moments. World Wide Web, the fall of the Berlin Wall, we landed on the moon, music, sports, history, entertainment. We have a pretty good list started already. We had the founding board. We have all that stuff, and we're going to put it at the end of the episode because what we do is we pick a moment. You could pick a moment. You want to pick the next moment? Comment it right now. And we've research that moment, and then we rank the moment at the end of the episode and see where it ranks amongst all the other ones that we have done so far. And I put a cool little banner up and shows you where it ranks and, well, who is, well, the greatest moment ever in our opinion. So again, this is Best Moment Ever. Take a quick little second and, check out the description. There's a lot of cool friends of the show like Live Bearded Squatch Juice, just to name a few. Support them, support us. Let's just help each other. And of course, none of this would be possible without the internet. Why don't you just close your eyes and just really picture life, what it would be like without the internet right now. And now that hopefully you didn't fall asleep to my soothing voice, let's go back before the web. Because I truly do think to understand how big this moment really was, we need to rewind a little bit. Be kind, rewind those VHS tapes. Get it? You might not. Anyways, because the internet technically existed before 1991. In fact, the roots of the internet go all the way back to the Cold War, because in the 1960s, the U.S. Department of Defense funded a project called ARPANET. The idea was simple, but it was pretty revolutionary. What if computers could communicate with each other across long distances? Instead of information being stored in one place, what if it could travel across a network? The network eventually connected universities, research labs, and government institutions. But here's the catch. Using the early internet, it was pretty complicated. You had to know command lines, you had to know server addresses, and you had to manually navigate different systems. Imagine trying to drive somewhere. There's no street names, there's no maps, and there definitely isn't GPS. It's almost like what the early internet life was like. It worked, but it wasn't usable for normal people. And that's where one man enters the story. Because in 1989, a British scientist, Swedish, there was a scientist named Tim Berners-Lee who was working at CERN in Switzerland. CERN is one of the largest physics laboratories in the world. Scientists from dozens of countries worked there. They were constantly sharing research, papers, experiments, and data, but the information was scattered across different computer systems. Some ran on Unix, some on other operating systems. None of them talked to each other very easily. So Berners-Lee realized the problem wasn't the internet itself. The problem was accessing, I don't know why that word tripped me up, information on the internet. What if you could click from one document to another? What if information could link together? What if there was a universal system that anyone could use? He proposed something radical, a system of hypertext documents connected across the internet. Today, we just simply call them documents. We might even call them web pages. To make this system work, Berners-Lee invented 3 technologies that still power the web today. HTML, which is the language that websites use. HTTP, the system computers use to communicate with websites. And URLs, the addresses used to locate them. Then he built the world's first web browser and the world's first website. The website explained how the web worked and how others could, create websites of their own. It went live in 1991. The address was simple, info.cern.ch. Just like that, the first web page in history existed. Then on August 6th, 1991, Berners-Lee posted a message to an internet forum announcing that the World Wide Web was now publicly available. There was no giant event, no marketing campaign, just a technical message explaining how to access it. At the time, almost nobody realized what had happened. The dominoes, not the pizza chain, had started falling. Within a few years, websites began appearing everywhere. Search engines were created. Online businesses started to form. And suddenly, the internet wasn't just for scientists anymore. It was for everyone. And the growth was unbelievable. 1991, there was 1 website. By 93, about 130. 96, over 100,000. By the year 2000, millions. And today, there's over 1 billion websites. Entire industries were born. Others did collapse. Newspapers lost control of information. Retail stores faced online competition. Music, it shifted from CDs to digital downloads and eventually streaming. The world economy, it reorganized itself around the web, all from one idea: link information together. Let's be honest, without the web, there's no Google, no Wiki, no YouTube, no online banking, no e-commerce, no streaming services, no social media. Even smartphones would look pretty dumb. The web didn't just create new industries. It changed how humans communicated, how we learn, how we shop, how we work, how we interact with each other. For better or worse, the web rewired human civilization. So, with that being said, we need to go ahead and we need to rank this moment to see, is it the best moment ever? All right. Impact. Obviously, this left a pretty lasting impact. So much that, you're actually watching or listening to this right now. I don't think that there's any moment that is a perfect 10, but the impact that this has left not only with my life, your life. I have a 91-year-old grandma who probably wouldn't know what to do without the internet and streaming every single day. So for me, this is a 9.6 out of 10. The emotional hit. It wasn't, at the time in 91 with no big event and, no big, like an Apple reveal and everything like that. It wasn't huge, but at the time, people didn't really know how huge it was. First number that pops into my head for emotional hit is going to be a 7.8 out of 10. Cultural memory, is this a moment that you could pin to a Switzerland guy working for CERN, and know everything about it culturally? No, but are you going to know that the internet was invented? And if you were alive in 91 and then grew up, with no internet to internet, it's a pretty big cultural memory. I've lived through it. So for me, I'm going to go with an 8.7 out of 10. Longevity. Picture the world without the internet. Picture life without the internet at this point. I think it's gonna outlive a lot of things. I think the internet is here to stay, and it's crazy to think it wasn't that long ago that the internet was created. You're talking less than 40 years. The internet's been around, and look how far it's come. So yeah, I think it's here to stay. So longevity for me is going to be a 9.3 out of 10. And we're going to go with a disruption score. It has changed the way civilization is today. It's changed the way humans are today. That's pretty big disruption, in my opinion. 9.4 out of 10. And hopefully my math is mathing. And if it is, I got a 44.8. And this is where the World Wide Web ranks amongst all the other moments that we have done here on Best Moment Ever. That places the birth of the World Wide Web among, The greatest moments ever. Not because people celebrated it in the moment, because the world that followed could never go back. I mean, in 1991, the internet quietly changed forever. There were no countdowns, no crowds cheering, no global broadcast, just a scientist, a computer, and an idea. But sometimes the moments that shape history the most are the ones nobody notices at the time. And that moment, it happened quietly in a Swiss physics lab. I mean, it was the building of the digital world that we now live in. And that might make it one of the greatest moments ever. That's all we got. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know. I mean, it takes not even a whole second to go. You don't have to, though. Either way, we'll be back next week for another moment to see if it is the greatest moment ever. Take care, everybody.
This is the best moment ever.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. 5 throws. Here's a swing and a high fly ball going deep left. They do it. That's the ball goes by. It is
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself!
This is the best moment ever.